Can we check Tesla stock, please? Yes, we are up about 1/3%. So while off the earlier highs, certainly off the floor here, we have more on the breaking news we brought you minutes ago about Tesla. Not only is the electric vehicle car board seeking, and this was the word, wide investor pools for its plans to go private, but Bloomberg is also reporting that Tesla is holding early talks with banks about a possible deal. Now, CEO Elon Musk had tweeted 2 days ago that he already had funding to take the company private. Let's bring on our two guests. One of them had said after Tesla's earnings call that she was frustrated with Elon and that he needed to grow up. But our other guest is a Tesla analyst who just raised Tesla to outperform last week. Let's bring in Oppenheimer Managing Director Colin Rusch along with Kelley Blue Book Executive Analyst Rebecca Lindland. Colin, I will begin with you. What has changed from your perspective since you upgraded the stock?
Well, really what we saw is the company executing on the bull case for the stock. Holding OPEX flat, being able to execute on incremental gross margins at a reasonable level that generated operating cash flow for the company. And that's been the bull case all along. We were very bullish early on the stock. We took a break and were on the sidelines for a couple of years. And we saw them getting to a point where they were actually going to be generating operating cash flow. And that's why we upgraded last week. This take private announcement is very complicated. We're still waiting on a great deal of information to really be able to assess that properly and the viability of such a transaction.
Okay. The original tweet, which was Tuesday, Rebecca came out, blurts it out to the markets, and we knew he was frustrated with short sellers. And quite frankly, I don't blame him. But as a CEO, you can't have thin skin. But he had said, am considering taking Tesla private at $420, funding secured. You had already been frustrated with him. Did this make you more frustrated or less?
Well, it was rather stunning. I mean, I think that, speculating on Twitter is dangerous enough, but then indicating that you've got funding secured, as we've been hearing about all week, is, potentially misleading.
Well, okay, but wait. So then what do you make, Rebecca, of the breaking news, this Bloomberg report that Tesla is seeking an investor pool? Does that translate to we don't have one yet?
It does. I mean, honestly, I was thinking right away of the Saudi, public wealth fund. I was thinking that that's where he would get it because the announcement, when you remember on Tuesday in the morning, they had announced a nearly 5% stake from Saudi Arabia. And having lived there myself, I lived there from 2013 to 15, even though it seems very counterintuitive that Saudi would invest in electric vehicles, it's actually, there's Saudi Aramco, the oil company, has been investing in powertrain development for years.
Right.
So it's not as weird and counterintuitive as it may seem. But now that I've read that the investment fund had no idea that this was coming out, now you really have to start questioning, is this a pool of people, as he now seems to say?
Colin, over at Oppenheimer Funds, what do you guys chatter about when it comes to this news? Do you believe he was telling the truth that he had the funding?
The honest truth is we don't know. It seems like there's two layers to this. First, if he went out and said that they had funding and that isn't true, that's a fraud issue, and the SEC is going to have to get involved. The second scenario is potential market manipulation, and then you have to prove intent to manipulate the market, and by releasing this information. I think what we've seen this week in terms of the blog post later that afternoon, and then the board comments yesterday. It's it's not clear what's going on, but there's certainly a fair amount of CYA happening on a legal basis from the company and its board.
Well, I would think. Rebecca, there is a metric that might affect the price, maybe solidify it, and that is that Tesla's, when you're talking about the pre-owned market, boy, does their price hold up, right? People love any Tesla they can get their hands on, used or new. How much does that mean to the overall value of the company, which at this moment has a market cap of $60.2 billion?
Well, certainly the ability, from Kelley Blue Book, we look at residual values all the time. So keeping your residual value is absolutely vital. But, there's also other parts of Tesla that are incredibly valuable, like their implementation of artificial intelligence. This is an area that they really are the market leader. And when we think about changes in mobility as a service, Tesla really could have the advantage here. I think that they should consider looking not just at the influence they can have on the new and used market, but on the commercial market as well. When we think about electric vehicle technology, there's a lot of appeal in that semi-truck that he flaunted and then kind of died a little bit. It's hard to make money when you're trying to sell a Model 3, even if you're selling it for $70,000.
Colin, you tell people to buy this stock right now, not knowing what happens, forget 6 months from now.
Well,
How about
listen,
tomorrow?
we upgraded before this news, and really that was based on the manufacturing margins. With this sort of news event, we have to wait and get more information. And so I think we're in a wait and see mode. If this issue goes away and they don't go private, or we get some clarity where we have a viable scenario where they go private, then we can have an opinion. But with this sort of overhang, it's very hard to tell people to either short it or get long it. What we can say definitively is that there are a lot of long-focused investors in this stock that were looking for something much higher than $420, and certainly aren't going to be interested in owning a stock that's illiquid in the private markets when they had a stock that they thought was going much higher in a very liquid position.
$352.92 right now for Tesla. Good to see both of you, Rebecca and Colin. We'll see you again.